Welcome to the Fitmama podcast, where it's all about gaining your health back as a busy woman and mom, and doing it without sacrificing time with your family or business. Here is your host, mompreneur and Fitmama health coach, Angela Campbell.
On this episode today, I want to talk to you a little bit about your priorities in your to-do list, and do they match up whatsoever? I know I am a to-do list person. I live by a to-do list. It's how I remember to do things on a daily basis, whether it's work or things I need to do for the kids or things I even need to do for myself. And I think as women, and whether you are a mom or an entrepreneur or working a job or just a woman living life, we have a lot on our plate. In today's society, we have more than ever, and a lot on our plate that isn't necessarily needed. Let's put it that way, right? Or there's also things on our plate that will never get done if we don't align our priorities. So one of the things that I love to encourage, I love to encourage you to make two lists. And I want you to think about what are your priorities? Like what do you want? Okay, what are your desired priorities? And make a list of those, let's say 5 things. And I want you, if you're listening to this now, do this now, pause this, do it, or do it later. But what I want to encourage you to do is write 5 things that you would love that took up most of your time throughout the days. What do you want to be on the top of the priority list? That is your dream list first. And why do I think you should do that? One, because next we're going to do an audit and see where you're actually spending most of your time. A lot of times it's a wake-up call. Your priorities are things that you really know are very important to you, and hopefully you're spending some time on them. But let me tell you, as I coach women every single day, a lot of times what we have on our dream list of priorities is not what's reality on where we're spending most of our time. So I encourage you, first, write that list of 5 things where you want your most attention. Is that with God? Is that with your health? You've got to be on that priority list. I'm going to encourage you right now. If you make your list of 5 and you're not on that list, I want to encourage you to make a little bit of change to your list. I'm not telling you how to live your life, but I see women every single day, and my big mission on this planet and on this earth is to help women see the importance of them. They have to be on their priority list. In order to truly take care of people at the level that you want to take care of your family, your friends, your kids, those of you that take care of people for a living, nurses, teachers, doctors, entrepreneurs, you cannot truly help those others if you're not on your priority list. So, are you on there? And are you towards the top of that list? And if you're not right now and you're listening, I want to encourage you, first, make your list, the first 5 things that come to your mind. And then take a minute to think about those things. Okay? I know for me personally, my health is on the top of that list. God is on the top of that list. It's at the very top. Typically, when I do this exercise, and this exercise is something you can repeat. Why? Because we go through cycles of doing really well, and then we go back into bad habits. So it's important to audit your time and see, where in the world am I spending my time, and are they aligned with my priorities that I said a long time ago that I want to be at the top of my list? So for me personally, mine has God first and then me second. Yes, because I know that I'm important enough that I should be at the top of that list. Okay, then it's my spouse, and then it's my kids, and then it's my business. But I will be totally transparent here. And a lot of times these are my alignment, my priorities, my dream list. That is my dream list of where I want every single day, those things being top priority. But as I get busy, I will be transparent with you that my actual time and where it goes is not always aligned with that list. And that's why I encourage doing it often, right? Because when it's fresh on our mind, then we typically make it fresh on our to-do list. But when you regularly audit your time and make sure you keep going back to those priorities, it's going to help you make that as a lifestyle change, right? So Make that list. Now, the next list I want you to create is write 5 things that you feel like you spend most of your time doing. Like, where do you really truly spend most of your time? My health is on that list. God is on that list. And I'll be transparent with that as well. If you know me, my faith is very important to me. I find myself sometimes in places I'm not spending enough time there. So my health is very much important to me. God, my business is definitely on that list. I spend a lot of time with all the things I do and all of the women that we coach, the things that we run behind the scenes. There's a lot of work to do. So I spend a ton of time there. With my kids, I spend a ton of time, obviously, with my kids. If they're not here, it's because they're in school, pre-K, or at grandma's. My son's 3, spends some time at grandma's a few days a week, so that I can do things like this and help make it more impact. Otherwise, I spend a ton of time with my kids. And then taking care of the house. And I'm sad to say, my spouse isn't getting a lot of that time. That's one of my biggest priorities that I'm working really hard to have on my actual to-do list. So you've got your list of priorities, the things that you want to spend the most time on, and then your actual to-do list where you spend the most time. And I want you to put them side by side. And I want you to be honest with yourself and tell yourself, are these things that I really want to be very most important to me in my life getting any of my attention? And if they're not, give yourself grace and know you're human and you're a work in progress. This does not happen overnight where they match up. And I'll be honest with you, they will probably never 100% match up. But take one of those things that are on your priority list and that is not getting attention on your dailies and start there. Start really focusing on attention. If that's God, like God's on your priority list, but God's not on your daily to-do list, then start every day with some devotional, some prayer times, maybe just 5 minutes of meditating to the word of God. Go to YouTube, search meditations. There's plenty of them. There's a lot of amazing ones. Or maybe it's a prayer time. Maybe it's devotional time. Maybe it's 10 minutes of reading the Bible. Maybe it's listening to the podcast. There's a Bible podcast that you can listen to as well. Or maybe it's your health that's on your priority list that you know it needs to be important, but you're not getting any attention to. And this is the number one that I usually spend my most time coaching women through is, okay, you want to take care of your health, but you're not doing anything daily to focus on it. So find 10 minutes in your day. If you know me, I always talk about 10 minutes because I'd rather someone get started with 10 minutes, get consistent with 10 minutes than not do anything at all. 10 minutes of going for a walk. Maybe take 30 minutes on a Sunday and actually do some meal prepping through the week. Whatever it is, I want you to look at your list of priorities. Are they getting any attention? And the ones that are not getting attention, find somewhere in your day to fit 5 or 10 minutes to focus on those. And then get consistent with those before you try to add more. Stop trying to add too much to your plate. And mark some things off of the to-do list that can wait. We spend a lot of time on things that are not as important as others. The dishes, the laundry. I know for me, I used to stress about the laundry all the time. And I realized the reason why I stressed so much about it is because I had no plan and I was just trying to fit it in the nooks and crannies of my day. I'd go throw something in the laundry and then come to work and then crap, I forgot to put it in the dryer. And then it's 2 days later and it's still wet in the washer. So I had to redo it. Like God, I used to stress myself out of something so simple. And now, nope, got a routine. Fridays, I start to wash. And this is going to sound crazy, but that I wash and I dry, and then I dry and I lay the clothes out. I don't even bother hanging them or folding them yet. And then usually either that night or Saturday morning, I'll go and I'll actually fold, hang them, put them all the way up. It works for me. You got to figure out what works for you. Don't stress yourself out. I've had women tell me like they do their priority list and then here's their to-do list and they spend so much time cleaning the house. Another area that I used to have a lot of stress over because I have toddlers, moms with little ones, you can totally get this. You will stress yourself out if you're trying to follow them around and clean up after them all day. That's a full-time job in its own. Let it go. live life, pick up 15 minutes at the end of the day if that's your sanity, but don't stress and try to do that all day. Why? Because you're taking away from yourself and your sanity, and you have way more things that are much more important that need your attention than that. I would love to hear from you. If you actually do this exercise, send me a message or get into our Facebook group, the Fit Mompreneur, and make a post. Tag me so I can see it. And share it with me so I can see what you do and even give you a little bit of accountability. So where are you spending your most time? And is that aligned with the priorities that matter most? I'll see you on the next episode.